Americans are not going to understand the magnitude of what it is I'm about to tell you. But you see, Donald Trump allowed 4 tech giant billionaire bros with no military experience to be sworn in as lieutenant colonels in the United States Army Reserve. They're going to be decision makers, no boot camp, nothing. They just get to be a part of our armed forces now, just giving away those uniforms. And I'm going to connect some dots for you. But also, in this last week, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary appointed a 22-year-old former grocery store clerk, part-time, and gardener to head up our terrorist operations. Those two stories would frighten most people in and of themselves without commentary. So while it's about that, this is also about anti-intellectualism in a very specific group of American people. These people are far-right MAGA with little education, and the most specific group I want to talk about are MAGA veterans that have become the most fascist and insufferable people to talk to in the United States, because they have this belief, right, that the only people in the United States that should have an opinion on Middle Eastern affairs, regardless of what they know about it, or basically really anything going on in politics, must have served in the military. But the thing is, and this all broke out in a major Facebook conversation that I have, but I see it all the time, is that even among themselves, they don't inherently believe that all veterans should, have a seat at the table. Because in the comments, plenty of people were like, I'm a veteran and I understand what this person's saying and I agree. Going to Iran is a bad idea, whatever. They immediately call those people traitors. So they constantly eliminate the group of people that they are willing to humanize, really. And they want to disenfranchise them from the entire political system. But the other funny thing is all of these motherfuckers, they will say, I fought for your right to freedom, and you're a traitor because you're a liberal. Well, obviously you don't think that I should be free. These people think I should be the least free of anybody else. Funny is these people began to unmask in this conversation that mostly took place on Facebook over the course of several months. Is they didn't know what the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was. They didn't know what countries were in OPEC. They didn't know where most of these countries were on a map, where exactly the Red Sea was. They would confuse Houthis and Hezbollah, use them interchangeably. They were saying that they were surprised that the B-2 bomber wasn't fucking invisible. They were saying things like the B-2 bomber is going to drop the Moab. A B-2 bomber can't drop a Moab. It has to be a Hercules 130. We had a big fight about this, all right? They also said that we were going to send a Hercules on the Nimitz, the Navy aircraft carrier going into the Mediterranean Middle East right now. You can't put one on there. It has to be broken up and sent on different ships. And even then, they don't know basic shit. But they will 10 toes down say, you shouldn't be talking about this unless you've been there. As if I'm going to take advice from people that brag about the fact that every single thing they knew and all of their identity had to be broken down piece by piece so that they could be rebuilt as a man. As if I don't acknowledge that that might play a role into their prejudice in issues regarding. Told to silence my voice for these people because of their life experiences, while also being told that the other people that had the exact same life experiences as them within the military that overwhelmingly have different opinions just so happen to also be traitors. I have some more horrifying news for you regarding our country's safety. So I don't know if you know this, but the operation that started all of this in Israel was called Operation Gideon's Chariot. And the thing is when you look at a military operation, you kind of know by the name what some of the plans are going to be, and that includes surprises, right? It's from the Old Testament. I know you haven't read it, that's fine. But the thing is they want the U.S. to go into war with Iran. That's what they pay them for. But here's where it gets scary. They also know that Iran has utilized sleeper cells in the past throughout the United States. When the president decided to bomb Iran, the Department of Homeland Security, as well as much of the Department of Defense, knew that the number one group of people that was most likely going to get killed was going to be United States citizens in these sleeper cell type terrorist attacks, right? And you see, my job is to politically forecast based on all of the information that I have, that I know, data analysis, as well as pattern recognition. That's what I do here on this app. And my credentials would be that I'm always right. And do you want to know what the plan is here? Nothing that they used to strike Iran was actually bunker busting in the capacity that those are bunkers, right? Like, it didn't do much. That was a nothing burger for Iran, but it sure pissed them off. So what Israel's hoping that happens, right, is that we have another terrorist attack here. Because you know how you conservatives always say, we missed the country on 9/12 because at least we were all unified, right? Yeah, they need that to happen here so that we rally around the flag and justify wars in the Middle East without questioning. All right, and also when we do amplify this war, they're also going to want to survey us. Yeah, so does it make sense now why a whole bunch of fucking tech bros are in our United States military with higher rank than other military service members? I haven't even told people enough about Taiwan, Ukraine, and Russia, or the fact that China actually probably took all of Iran's actually important equipment with it out of there. But something else is that in a world where the Department of Homeland Security Secretary has no law enforcement experience whatsoever, has never really went to school or held a real job in her entire life, we have an alcoholic TV news host as our Department of Defense Secretary. We have a reality TV show host in office as president. We have a health secretary that doesn't believe in vaccines or any science whatsoever, also heroin addict, and we have a ketamine and ecstasy addict working within our Department of Government Efficiency that also has all of our data. When you guys are the most anti-intellectual people and you accept anybody simply because they align with you, I have fucking no obligation to show you my credentials. My credentials were that it was my birthday. One of my followers sent me $20 for my birthday present. I went and bought these blocks because it's not very often that I can make new types of creative content. I also had a babysitter, so I used the resources I had to bring new information to my followers. Now, if anybody wanted to dispute what I had to say, they could have fucking looked it up, but you guys don't look shit up. So my credentials were, I wanted to play with my new fucking blocks.